In this problem, you have a graph, and whenever you have a graph in physics, just pay attention to the units, because that'll help you in the question. So the actual question says, find the average acceleration during the time in the time interval t equals 0 equals t equals 10 seconds. Units should be m over s squared, and there should be 2 sig figs. So you can just break this problem down and just one part at a time and find the average acceleration. So what you do is you just write the acceleration formula. So it'll be acceleration equals change of v over change of t. All that means is the final minus initial velocity and final minus initial time. Now since you have that, now you just plug these numbers in. So since t equals 0 is your initial time and t equals 10 seconds is your final time, now you look at the velocities of each of those. So for t equals 10, since that's your final time, you go up, you look at it, and it hits 60. So it will actually be 60 for your final velocity. Here, it will be 0 for your initial velocity. So all I did was just plug that in, 60 for final velocity, 0 for initial velocity, and then I just plugged in the times, 10 for the final time, and 0 for the initial time. So then you just do that, and you get 60 over 10. Always make sure you write the units, because that'll help you prevent careless mistakes. So when you get an answer, you go back to the question and make sure you answer the question. So we did answer that it was average acceleration, but the thing is, the units are not correct. They should be in m over s squared. So what we do is we just convert it to the units they want. So how I'm going to do it is, since this is a conversion on the top, I'm just going to put it 60 kilometers over 1 hour. Because all I did was just put 60 kilometers over 1 hour, because in reality that is 1 hour divided by 1 hour. And then here, all I did was just put it over 1. So then you can see that it's a fraction divided by a fraction. When you're dividing fractions, you can flip the second one and just multiply. So what that is just simplify. So you can just multiply the top and bottom, and including the units. So you get 60 kilometers equals 1 hour times 10 seconds. So you get 60 kilometers and then hours times seconds. Now what you do is you go back to the problem and you see that it should be m over s squared. So what you can start doing is change the top to meters. So you simplify it, you get 6 kilometers over 1 hour times seconds. All I did was just cancel the zeros. And then I just brought that down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. So it's kilometers, so I'm just going to do dimensional analysis. So it's going to be kilometers on this side too. So whenever the units are the same and they're diagonal to each other, they're going to cancel. And then after they cancel, you just multiply straight across on both the top and the bottom. So when you multiply, you get 6,000 meters, because that's the only unit left, over 1 hour times seconds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this hour to seconds, because that's what we want, because the actual units are m over s squared. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a conversion that's going to get rid of the hour. And it's okay that the s isn't there, as long as one of them are there. If it's multiplication, it will still cancel. So since it's diagonal and the units are the same, they'll cancel. And here, since the minute and minute are the same, they'll cancel too. And now what you're left with is you just multiply the top and the bottom all the way across. So you get 6,000, there's no other units, so it's going to be 6,000 meters. Multiply across, you get 3,600. And since the s is remaining and the s is remaining here, multiply those across, you get s squared. Now we have the right units. So now we simplify and we get 1.66 over 1. We go back to the question one more time and we see that the units should be in m over s squared and they should be in 2 sig figs. This was actually in 3, so we just round up and we get 1.7 m over s squared. As you can see, I checked the question frequently, because that's the most common mistake, is just to not answer what the question asks. So just make sure you always check the question, make sure you have the right units and sig figs, and I hope that helped, and thanks for watching.